You know, when I first saw the trailer for Novocaine, I thought it looked like a lot of fun. An action comedy about an ordinary guy with the weird hook being that he can't feel pain? Yeah, okay, sign me up. But I was secretly worried it would turn out to be one of those comedies that's only funny to absolute brainlets, and the action would be as hard hitting as a Neil Breen fight. As it turns out, I was wrong on both counts. Novocaine is a smart, tight, gory comedy with just enough heart to keep you engaged without ever crossing into sappy cringe. So, let's get into the details, see why this thing works. Well, to start with, Jack Quaid stars as Nathan Kane, an introvert bank manager who has a rare genetic condition that prevents him from feeling pain. Now, that sounds pretty sweet to those of us who have had a kidney stone, but the problem is that he could literally kill himself on accident with a moment's inattention. He has to have special bumpers on every table corner, his shower has a temperature stopper to keep him from boiling his own skin off, and he can't even eat solid food because he might bite his own tongue in half while chewing. Into this lonely life walks Sherry, a cute bank teller who takes him out and opens him up. But when a bank robbery goes wrong and Sherry gets kidnapped, Nathan takes off after him to get back his girl. Thus ensues a gory but hilarious series of misadventures where Nathan gets battered, busted, bruised, burned, stabbed, and just keeps on a-comin' because Nathan Kane can't feel pain. Now, the problem with most action comedies is that very few writers and directors know how to blend the genres. They either have comedy that falls flat or action that's terrible, and usually it's both. The last few I watched had awesome potential, but always left me disappointed in the time and money wasted watching them. But here, Novocaine finds that rare balance that makes each element work. Now, the most basic ingredient that can make or break a film is the characters. If you don't believe in or care about them, then you might as well not even have a movie, right? Well, Jack Quaid is charming and sweet as Nathan, and Amber Midthunder Sherry is streetwise and hard, but with layers of gentle vulnerability underneath. They have great chemistry together, and you see the armor falling away as they let the other in. Sure, they only have one date, and the romance is a bit rushed, but it never feels forced. You're really cheering for these kids, which is important if you're gonna care about anything that happens to them. So when she gets kidnapped, you're cheering for Nathan to save her, stupid as he is for trying. He's a skinny weakling whose only action training is online video games, but he makes up for it with grit. Oh, and the fact that he can't feel it when he's stabbed. But the movie is careful to let you know that he is not invulnerable. Though he can't feel it, he can still get a concussion and pass out, or lose enough blood that he's weakened. His condition is based on a real one, yeah, and most people with it don't see 30 because they honestly can't tell when they're mortally wounded or even have an infection. Because pain is the body's way of telling us something's wrong, and without it, you're screwed. But that aside, the movie has fun during the action scenes and makes the most of its premise, even if it makes you wonder how he can even function after some of these injuries. The action is realistic, never making Nathan look like a kung fu badass, but just a determined guy doing his best. He only wins fights by accident or grit, and the action is punctuated with bits of humor that actually land. I found myself laughing out loud one second and then cringing from the gore the next, which is kind of what you want with a movie like this. And that reminds me, if you have a weak stomach, you probably shouldn't watch this movie. While some injuries are played for laughs, there are graphic moments that'll have you shielding your eyes. I can't even describe them for fear of YouTube striking this review, but just imagine if a Saw movie was funny and not stupid. Because this movie is surprisingly smart. There was setup and payoff all over the place, and little bits here and there to show they really cared about the details, like Nathan having a timer on his watch to remind him to pee so his bladder doesn't explode, or the stopper on the shower controls, and him knowing all about first aid so he can care for himself in case of an accident or infection. And then there are these surprise twists, which, okay, I won't ruin for you, but suffice it to say, even took me by surprise. And I'm a cynical prick who can usually tell what's going to happen in almost every movie from the trailer. Now, the co-directors and the writer only have a few other credits, none of which I've seen. But if this is the level of care they have for their craft, I definitely need to check out the rest. In short, Novocaine is smart, sharp, fun, and makes the most out of each second. There's no fat or filler, and it's well worth a look. if you can stomach the gore. But those are just my thoughts. What did you guys think of the movie? Is it fun or a flop? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe for more reviews, and until next time, happy viewing.